morning to you. This is Talk Radio Breakfast with me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. 9:53 is the time. Mike will be here in just a couple of moments to tell us what's happening on his show after 10. In the meantime, Lord Lloyd Webber, Andrew Lloyd Webber, of course, is threatening to sue the government if theatres can't go back to operating at full capacity from June the 21st. Wow, that pressure is on the government, isn't it? Let's talk to Alex Proud. He's owner of the Proud Group of Venues and joins us. Good morning to you, Alex.
Good morning.
Good morning. I can absolutely understand why Lord Lloyd Webber is feeling this way. Indoor entertainment venues were able to reopen on May the 17th, the last date of head reopening, at half capacity. But the reality is, even with the bars able to reopen indoors with social distancing at half capacity, it's just not profitable to play to those smaller crowds. You can't get enough people in, paying enough, and it's not viable to run. So a lot of theatres are still closed.
Yes, no, I mean, it's you walk around central London, and whilst certain areas like Soho and the train stations, the South Bank are busy, the moment you leave those areas, London is still a desert, and you can really see and feel that this is not a city that has come back to life. And I suspect many cities are the same. And you don't have to be Einstein or a professor of economics to work out at some point this is going to go horribly, horribly wrong. And as always with this government, once the horse has bolted, I'm sure there'll be lots of stable door closing, but it will be too late. And it's a disaster in the making. I
mean, we've seen, hundreds of thousands of people on furlough. People just lost their jobs. A lot of people just freelance, just weren't eligible for anything. Lots of people in the creative industries. It's a huge money spinner for us. It's not just a sort of a nice little thing that people do as a sideline. This is a multi-billion-pound business, isn't it? People come to not just to London, but to many other cities around the country to go. They do. It's the package deal, isn't it? You've got the wonderful tourism sites. You've got the great hotels. You've got the great restaurants, the bars. It's the nightlife. You go. You book a dinner. You go to the West End Theatre. People do stuff afterwards, and that's what brings tourists in from overseas. They spend big bucks, and there's a big knock-on effect for everybody. With the taxi drivers and the waiters everybody else. It's a industry.
It's worth, Julia, I can quantify it. The nighttime industry in this country is worth £78 billion, employs 2.5 million people, and yet have been treated by the government like dirt on your shoe. At the moment, COVID regulations, people don't realise this. You have council officers, people that sometimes you might consider slightly unfairly as jobs worthies, the sort of people who fine you for whatever. They now have powers that court judges don't have. They can come into your venue, issue a notice, close you. I had this week. They accidentally copy and pasted the wrong bit into a fine I got. For 2 hours, I thought my life was over. I could have committed suicide. 30 years of my life was about to end, and then some officer goes, "Oh, sorry, we copy and pasted the wrong bit." I had no right of appeal. I have no right to go to a court of law. And that is a junior council officer who can come into my venue, look at my CCTV and close me because someone stood up and wiggled at a table because they've had 2 vaccinations and they made a grown-up choice to do what they want and not be told by the government. Just like, you get in a car, you're not told you can't drive a car because it's potentially dangerous. Or we have CCTV in our breakfast room telling us not to have sugar on our sugar puffs because we might get diabetes.
Don't give them ideas, Alex. That's only a matter of time before they do that. No, but that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of it's out of whim, and we see, some local councils being much more, I think they would say themselves rigorous, but some, frankly, being Jobsworths about this. And this is the thing. It's jobs, it's livelihoods, it's businesses, it's taxes, by the way, which help keep things like, the NHS and schools running. That is absolutely vital. And again, a lot of people have this view, they say the same view, I hear this again and again about pubs and restaurants. You can go to the pub, you can go to a restaurant, you're fine. You can go to the theatre, you go to cinema. They're not making any money. You cannot survive another few months of this, or even another few weeks of this.
No, it's. I lost $1.5 million. That's guaranteed in my home. Many people closed. The people who still nightclubs have been shut for 15 months with precious little support. The theatres. One more day is a disaster. Let's get this straight. All those scientists right now go, follow the figures. Why is it when the figures are good, we don't follow the figures, and the figures are bad, and also the figures aren't bad? It's flu. No one's dying, schmuck.
It's not. No, people are saying it's not. I need to correct that. It isn't flu. It is more serious flu. But with the vaccine, to all intents and purposes, we should be treating it like flu in terms of the death toll. But Alex, I really appreciate you joining us. I think, there are plenty of people cheering what you've just been saying in terms of people wanting to get back to their own lives and their real lives. And I'm with you all the way. We're at Talk Radio backing your industry and all the other industries that have been absolutely damaged, devastated by this. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm almost done for another day. Mike Graham is here for keeping the fight going